Hi Forest View students. Hope you're all doing great, and I hope you've had a really good start to the school year. It's been really nice to see you all again at school. If you're one of our older students, or if you've seen Mr. Ernest's video already, you know that we always take a little bit of time at the beginning of each year to talk about our school rules. And Mr. Ernest in his video talked about our rules for the bus and the cafeteria and the playground and your classroom. And I'm going to take a few minutes right now talking with you about our rules for the bathroom and our hallways. So as you kids walk around the school, you've probably seen a lot of these posters up on the walls. And most of you know, but these are our school rules that we hope Forest View kids try really hard to remember. And these are the rules that Mr. Ernest and I are kind of reviewing with you right now. All of our school rules are divided up into kind of three categories. We have rules that are about being kind, we have rules that are about being responsible, and we have rules that help us to stay safe. And in each area of our school, we have a set of rules for each of those things. So I'm going to start with our bathroom rules, and I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about our bathroom rules that help us remember to be kind. There's three bathroom rules that help us to do a good job with kindness, and the first one is about keeping your eyes to yourself when you're using the bathroom. Most of you know this. When we go to the bathroom, that's a really private activity, and it's never okay for us to try to be peeking and looking at people going to the bathroom. It's not okay to try and look at others under the stall or through the cracks in the door. That's an important rule. It's important that we respect other people's privacy when we use the bathroom, and that's a part of kindness. Our next bathroom rule that's about being kind is making sure that our voices don't get too loud in the bathroom. The rule says when you're in the bathroom, you should use a one voice, a number one voice. And what that means is one voices are off. When you go to the bathroom, your job is to go to the bathroom and get back to class. It's not a time to chat with friends. It's not a time to sing or yell. So we try to have kids remember your voice level should be at a 1 when you're in the bathroom, and that's no talking. The reason that's a kind rule is that helps you to be respectful to other classes who are still in session when you're going to the bathroom. If we're in the bathroom making lots of noise, that's not real respectful to those classes that are trying to focus and listen and work. So that's also a real important bathroom rule. The third bathroom rule that's about being kind is throwing away your paper towels when you're done. So you go to the bathroom, you come out and wash your hands, and you dry your hands, but you need to make sure that those paper towels get in the waste paper basket. Sometimes we'll walk down the hall and just see tons of paper towels on the floor by the sinks, and that's part of being respectful and kind too, is when we pick up after ourselves so that the next people that use it don't need to deal with all that. It keeps our school looking nicer. That's just a respectful thing to do. That also is an important rule. Those are the three bathroom rules about being kind. Let's move on now to our bathroom rules that are about being a responsible student. Remember, being responsible means that you do your job. It means that you do what's right, and it means that you do your best. So when you go to the bathroom, your job is go to the bathroom, make sure you flush the toilet, wash your hands, and then get back to class. And actually our rules about being responsible in the bathroom are just that. Number one is flush the toilet. Do your best to remember to flush the toilet when you finish. A lot of our toilets now are automatic flushers, and you don't need to worry about that as much. But some of our toilets are still the ones where you pull a handle. Part of being responsible is making sure you pull the handle and flush the toilet when you're done. A side note to that is if you flush the handle and it doesn't work, if it doesn't flush, we're not going to flush it again and again and again. that can cause big problems and make a big mess and make it unsafe for other kids in the bathroom. So when you go in, do your job, make sure you flush, and then you come right out, and washing your hands is the next rule about being responsible in the bathroom. When you wash your hands, we've all had a lot of practice with this over the last few months, but remember, it's a good idea to, while you scrub your hands, that you do that for a little bit. I always tell kids that if you sing the ABCs in your head while you scrub your hands, and scrub your hands till the end of the ABC song, then that's good. Then you know you've done a really good job of getting your hands clean. So you go to the bathroom, you flush, come out and wash your hands. Next step is leave and get back to class. Oh, I forgot one thing. When you wash your hands, you should only need 1 squirt of soap. And you all know how our soap dispensers work. You just slide your hand under there and it'll automatically squirt some soap on your hand. You only need 1 to get your hands clean. So just put it under there, squirts once, and then you can start scrubbing them. We're not going to have the dispenser put tons of soap in our hand, because usually what happens is it drips on the floor gets really slippery, and that's not safe for anyone. Okay? So flush, wash your hands, and then the next rule for being responsible in the bathroom is leave. And that just means once you finish your job in the bathroom, it's time to get back to class. It's not time to hang out in the hallways. It's not time to chat with your friends or watch people walking back and forth in the hallway. It's time to get back to class. That's your job. Okay? One other rule for the bathroom about being responsible, and that is that you use only what you need. And what that means is that when you wash your hands and then dry them, you don't take tons and tons of paper towels. To dry your hands, you should only need 1 or 2 paper towels. Okay? Another example of that is if you're in the bathroom and you need to use toilet paper, you don't need rolls and rolls and rolls of toilet paper. You just need as much as you need to get your body clean. Okay? So part of being responsible in the bathroom is just using what you need and not using a whole bunch of extra things. All right? Bathroom rules that help us to be safe, and these are very important, both in keeping yourself safe and other kids too. We have 3 bathroom rules that help us to stay safe, and the first one is you keep your feet on the floor. When you're in the bathroom, your feet need to stay on the floor. That means we're not going to climb on the stall walls. We're not going to climb the stall doors. That's really unsafe. Kids can get hurt pretty bad if they climb up there and fall. Plus, a lot of times, that's going to damage property and damage the stall, and that becomes a whole another big problem. So remember, part of being safe in the bathroom is you keep your feet on the floor. Okay? Second rule about being safe in the bathroom is about making sure that you unlock the stall door when you're done and you leave. And what we mean by that is when you go in and you use one of the stalls, when you finish and leave, you need to make sure that that door is unlocked so that other kiddos can come in and use that door. Never okay to leave the door locked and crawl on the floor under the stall. That's not a safe choice. The floor has got a lot of germs in there. We don't want you crawling on the floor at all. So you need to make sure you open up that door and leave that unlocked, both to keep yourself safe, and that's also part of being respectful to other kids that need to use the bathroom. The last rule about staying safe in the bathroom is also, I think, a especially important rule, and this is maybe one that we've struggled with over the last couple of years trying to remember, and that rule is keep the floors dry when you use the bathroom. One thing that I always talk to kids about is after you finish washing your hands, it's a really good idea to kind of shake or flick your hands into the sink so that extra water goes just right into the sink. We're not going to shake them onto the floor, shake them right into the sink, because what happens a lot of times is kids will wash their hands and then they walk away from the sink and go over to get a paper towel, and all the while their hands are dripping on the floor, and then our floor ends up getting really wet, and that's just not safe. That can get really slippery, and kids or adults can fall and really get hurt if that happens. So do your best to remember, keep the floors dry, flick your hands into the sink after you wash your hands, and that'll help a lot to keep that dry. That's it for our bathroom rules. Again, really important rules. I want you to do your best to remember those this year. We will likely talk about these rules again halfway through the year and maybe in the spring too, but do your best to remember those. That'll help make our school a better place to be. Okay? Hallway rules. We also have some important hallway rules that, again, are about being kind, being safe, and being respectful. Hallway rules that are about being kind are keeping your hands and your feet to yourself and just using a 1 or 2 voice. Remember, a one voice is no talking. A 2 voice is whispering. Sometimes teachers might say to you, okay kids, as we walk to Fayed, I'm going to have you whisper with a friend about the lesson we just learned. We may not be doing much of that this year because we're trying to distance in the hallway. But if there's ever a time where you're talking in the hall, do your best to remember to use a number 2 voice. That's a whisper voice. And that shows respect and kindness because you're not disrupting other classes as you walk by. You're keeping it quiet in the hallway so that they can focus on their work. Okay? Hallway rules about being responsible. Those include making sure your locker door is closed. Making sure that you keep your things in your locker, not spread out all over the hallway. And then another important one, making sure that you listen to adults that you see in the hallway. When you're walking through the hallway, you know all of the adults that work here have name tags like that. If one of the adults that works here needs to talk to you, part of being a responsible student is stopping and making sure that you listen to that adult. And that's part of being responsible. Okay. Finally, we have a few hallway rules about staying safe. And those are, we try to always walk on the right side of the hallway. That's especially important this year when we're all trying to keep some space between us. If we all follow that rule, then it's a little bit easier for us to all get around without bumping into each other. So try to remember, walk on the right side of the hallway. The next rule is about keeping your personal space. Most of you know about your personal bubble and staying in your personal space, and that we don't bump into or invade other kids' personal space. Again, really important this year with the distancing. That helps us to stay safe in the hall is when we stay in our bubble and we're not getting into other kids' personal space. The last hallway rule about staying safe is a really obvious one. I bet all of you know this one, and it's no running in the hall. If we're running in the hall, it's a really good chance someone might get hurt. You can trip and fall. You can bump into another student. You don't always know what's coming around the corner. It's never a good idea to run in the hall. We always remember to walk. Okay? I went through those hallway rules pretty quick. Those 2 are important. Do your best to remember those. Hands and feet to yourself in the hallway. 1 or 2 voice in the hallway. Close your locker doors if you can, and do your best to keep all of your things in your locker. Listen to adults. Stay on the right side of the hallway and walk. Again, try hard to keep those rules in mind this year, not forget those. That'll help us all stay safe, kind, and respectful, and they'll just make our school a better place to be. So, kids, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Do your best on these rules. We'll probably talk about them again this winter. But for now, hopefully, as I walk through the halls, hopefully I see lots of kids doing a great job of following all those school rules. I'll see you later. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.